Hello. All right, turn on the light. Boom. Boom. All right, everybody. Welcome to the live. All right, we all getting all ready. That light on me. Hey. All right. Welcome to Hollywood Accounting for November, the first one of November. People are getting the alert. All right, yes. Oh, let me start. I always start Instagram late. All right, bet. All right, we solid on there. All right. So first things first, I hope everybody is doing well. Obviously, I would be remiss not to mention that it is election day and make sure y'all go out and get y'all votes in. But that's about the end of politics. Actually, let's talk about something that was actually I thought about. I mean, it's not even that profound, I guess, but it was just very interesting. About something. Well, I'll bring that up when we get there. But yeah, interesting. So first, as I'm getting everything ready, CPA kind of updates. I don't know if anybody's seen, but I'm about to start being, a lot of the podcasts and a lot of the marketing connections I've been able to make are about to start being shown, now. Excuse me for this noise. All right. And so you guys are about to start seeing a lot more of your boy. Okay. So first off, I know the podcast that already came out today is Anshul's podcast with June 15 Consulting. There's a podcast out there. If you go to actually, let me just see if I can I drop things in the chats? Hold on. Yep. Boom. Oh, this is the episode link. Bada boom. So I'm gonna throw that. All right, so I just posted it, and it looks like it went to Twitch and YouTube, but I can't do it for LinkedIn unless I actually do it on LinkedIn. So I'm going to go to the actual LinkedIn Live and post the link to the podcast where, again, talking this particular conversation was about link to Anshul June 15 Consulting podcast. Drop that in. All right, so that link, we had a conversation about he corrected me on this. It's offshoring, not outsourcing. So offshoring, and that's a big difference than outsourcing, and how just overall pipeline, CPA con, stuff like that. So if you have time, go and listen to it, and there'll be more to come as well. But as those start coming out, I'll let everybody know about all of them. But first things first, I got a couple topics I want to talk about today. But you know what we got to do first? We got to play our games. All right. Share screen. Entire window. You're going to see a little short. Oh, no, I don't think you can see it, huh? All right, let's see. Share. All right. Yep. So again, why we play games is because, this is specifically what LinkedIn says, is, that it basically helps with, creating connections, relationships, being engaged, and everything like that. I think everybody loves a good game, and so why not have them integrated within what we do? And that's my whole shtick. I don't know, shtick, the whole thing is, really making things more fun, making things more engaging. And so we're always going to start off with some type of game. Right now, we're doing LinkedIn games, and they cheated me, man. I had this is more than an 8-day streak, and I for some reason just didn't take it for one day. I think that's because I was going through different time zones and it just didn't take it. But I'm kind of hurt. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of hurt. I had a longer streak than that. But let's get to it. All right. Yep. When I get in the mood in the mode, I just go. So sorry if I'm not that interesting, but I like I like doing the best. Do try and get the best time always, always, always. All right, bet. Uh, eh, 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 bet. All right, 39 seconds. That's pretty solid score. And if y'all start playing this, please, send it to me. I'm looking. I'm again. I love to compete. So if y'all start playing, let me know, and then we can like kind of, you know, see who does the best every day. But yeah, so we do tango and then we do queens. So you see my 50-day streak? Stop playing with me, all right? I'll be in this. I'll be in this. And you notice that's a five, I guess. I don't know if that's supposed to mean something, but all right, 2 2. Yep. It has to be blue. All right. So one of those there, there. Well, this has to be that. Maybe this. Can't be. Can't be. 1 2 1 2. So I guess this has to be green. Oop, 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 oop. All right, what we doing? Oh, can't be you. I didn't do that. All right. Solid. A minute and 7. Yeah, we could be better, but it was good. It was good. 51-day streak. All right, bet. So those are the games for the day. So while we're actually on LinkedIn, one topic I wanted to discuss was I actually left a comment, I think. So let's go. KPMG. So this ain't no hate. I ain't hating on nobody. All right. Let me expand this joint. Let me make this joint bigger. That's horrible. I'm gonna figure this out. One day. One day I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, we just do it that way. I wish I could like make my box a little smaller. But KPMG cuts hundreds of auditor jobs. Okay, so this is not pointing out KPMG specifically. This is just an article that popped up, and it's more so about the trend of what's going on. So I'm not trying to pick on any one company. It's just really just showing what's happening in the industry specifically, right? So KPMG is laying off the second round of auditors this year to make up for lower levels of voluntary attrition. So yes, they bake in voluntary attrition where people are leaving, usually around that senior to manager, age range, or I guess job title is when, auditors look and employees look to go to different companies, take they do their time essentially in public accounting, and then they go to private or they go somewhere else to get paid well, pay more money, or do something more specialized, or get some different experiences. I left when I got to after my first year as a senior, and I went into consulting. Came out here to LA, and never really look back. But yeah, in that senior to manager range is usually when people kind of leave. So that's what they mean by voluntary attrition. So the a so yeah, layoff season. So just seen a comment come in. Layoff season is among us. You think election season playing a role in this? I think that I actually saw a post about this too. So this isn't just my thought or anything. Like I didn't just come up with this, but I've seen it. Is that with the election? Again, I was trying not to be as political, but we'll talk about it. So with the election going on, obviously whoever comes in is going to have a lot of different changes, specifically within the tax code, and what that would open up is a lot of opportunity for small businesses and CPAs, small solo firms as I call them, or people who are just CPAs to um, help update businesses and help them with, understanding the new compliance, with the new code and tax laws. So there's a major opportunity because there's going to be a lot of learning that needs to be done and a lot of new things that need to be implemented and tax strategies that need to be amended and things that need to be worked on. So there's a huge, opportunity for either candidate, whoever wins is going to be, CPAs are going to be able to, take advantage of that and start being able to sell their services. So I think that layoff season, to again gearing up for the new year as well, and again people finding their own different opportunities. And but yeah, I do think that firms are being wise of business wise, are and kind of saying, all right, we don't really know what to expect yet, so let's get ready, let's optimize right now, and then we can move forward on based on who's coming in. But just continuing on the article, the accounting firm informed about 330 employees, or about 4% of its U.S. audit workforce. This is just the audit, it's just the U.S. Sorry, and I think this is just audit, just audit jobs. So just the U.S. audit jobs. Most of the reductions are managers and associates. While KPMG is among the firms that hired aggressively during the pandemic, layoffs at other consultancies have focused on advisory, not audit. Hold on. Let's get these out the way. And I saw a really good post. Oh, here's the post here. So I'm gonna read his post. Alan Moore. I'm just read his post. It's one of the ones that's kind of trending. So I'm gonna get some snippets. But again, KPMG got rid of some people this week. 4%. Managers and associates. No partners were axed. The problem is the Big Four overhired in 2022 and 2023, and now must cut back, at least in the U.S., not overseas, because other Big Four have done this. He said this. The KPMG released this statement, which is, these actions reflect our ongoing focus to align the size, shape, and skill of our workforce to the market. He says this is really an oxymoron, as KPMG didn't reconcile the firings with the fact that their audit revenues actually increased by 6%. So usually, if you increase 6%, with your revenue, then it might make sense that you also should be increasing your workforce. Obviously, it's not a one-for-one thing, but it's again, he's just calling out some things that aren't really aligning, especially again with this overarching talent pipeline situation, which he talks about too. So albeit partner compensation rose too. In other words, no steps have been taken to cut hours and raise pay for associates, although KPMG said it supported cutting the 50 hours requirement. His advice, not mine, his advice to accounting majors is to go into tax at a small firm or else go into industry. There is a shortage of accountants in the US, but not just the Big Four. They're big outsourcers. And the troubling thing to me is that the universities are funneling innocent students into a shrinking market segment. The small firms never have a chance to tell their story in the classroom because they aren't invited. So I read that to say, again, to hit on the opportunity within tax. But I think the overarching problem of this pipeline that we keep talking about, and was talking to my team yesterday more so about it, and some experiences that I've been confronting as CPA con is being moved on, and we're pushing it through and trying to change the accounting industry. And you hear you see a lot of articles, you hear a lot of people complain, or just do a lot of this research and figuring out what is going on and how to solve this pipeline issue. And I had a perfect example. Again, I'm a little biased because it came out of my head, but so I'm going to show it here, and I got some aids as well, some teaching aids to. I think I messed up a little bit. Okay, I should be. Wait, what's going on? All right, hold on. Mic check. Okay, we working. Okay, so I got some PVC pipes, and I'm going to illustrate something real quick. Usually have Post-it notes in here too, but let's just rock with me here. All right. Thank you. Audio is back good. All right, so I'm stop sharing. All right, so let me see. Yeah, I want a larger string. Okay, so this side, so stay with me. I ain't practicing this, but I've got some PVC. I literally went to Home Depot today, got some PVC because I'm like, oh, this is a great illustration. So this is my illustration and understanding of this whole accounting pipeline issue, right? So this is the accounting, world, right? The accounting industry. So obviously you want to get people over on this side. So you connect, with this connector, boom, you connect to the candidates. And so this is the accounting pipeline, as we've known it to be, right, in the past. So over time, they're just realizing, okay, well, we're not getting enough people in here. We're not, it's not diverse enough and everything like that. And so historically, in my opinion, the solve has been to increase or widening up this pipeline, right? And so usually what happens is you take off this, again, the pipeline piece to the, to the accountants and to the students and stuff like that. This doesn't change. The accounting industry hasn't changed, right? But they got a bigger pipe, a bigger PVC and a bigger connector, and now they're connecting it here. It does solve the problem of getting more potential candidates into this pipeline, right? And you see it's even like curved and everything like that, right? Try to be all cool and do different things, as far as connecting, to certain students, like, going to different schools now, or, increasing the number of people that can come in. But this doesn't really, all this does is just opens the pipeline that has historically been the case to more people, instead of really changing anything. It's just really like expanding, right? The problem with that is when you expand this, then you don't change the actual accounting industry, this side of it, what you have is number one, it doesn't fit, right? And so things fall through the crack. People fall through the crack, and therefore don't feel like, you cannot retain people, right? They went through the pipeline, they haven't made it to the promised land in the accounting industry. They don't really feel welcome. They don't feel like this is for them. And it's because you just opened it up, but you didn't really do enough to cater to the people that were coming through. It maybe helped because now you got all these candidates, or for a short amount of time that you feel like, all right, now they're coming in. But now even this is drying out because, again, it's just doesn't fit. Shoe doesn't fit, right? So going back to this illustration of what the pipeline was, right? My opinion to solve this issue is not to just try and make this larger. However, we need to change the industry. And so instead of it being, I'm taking it apart because I had it all nice and put together. 1 second. So instead of changing, and sorry, this is more accurate as the accounting right here, right? So this is the accounting and trying to connect that pipeline to everybody and get more people in, right? So instead of changing the size of the pipeline, you really should be changing how the accounting industry is reaching people and changing the actual industry, doing new things, creating a new way to address people. And so then you have this where you still have this pipeline you're used to for, the usual way you do things. But now you have these other two angles here, and you create and you connect to other parts, right? Boom. So I don't know if that helps or not, but essentially, you have this, connector here, and instead of trying to force people and force things into this, just trying to make this one route as big and trying to make, oh, we should be able to get more people in, you really need to create more access points. Create more access points to come into the industry, change what this side is really doing instead of trying to fit every single person into that one pipeline. And I think that's what's causing the issue. I'm gonna work this, I'm gonna rework it, but y'all let me know if that makes sense, if I did that in a good way or not. But essentially, we want to, instead of trying to make people fit in the box of what accounting and the industry has been and what has worked, we need to change how the field is. And I think, again, that's something that we're doing with CPA Con, and that's something that a lot of other people in the industry that I've connected with are trying to do. And the thing is, we're doing a lot. Actually, I was just talking to someone yesterday. It's like we're doing a lot of things in silos, and we really need to come together. This new generation come together and do it as a unit. And again, that's where CPA Con and what I'm trying to help, create with the, assistance of others to really create a space for this new generation to move forward and kind of shape how we want, the industry to look going forward. Because a lot of times when these issues are talked about, you don't really have the people who, you're trying to get in the room. When you're having discussions about the pipeline, are you, this is again just a general question, but really think about it. Are you having the people in the room to talk about it who's being affected, or are you talking about it amongst the current leaders of like, all right, how do we solve this problem, you guys? Are you really inviting them into the room? So back to that post, are you inviting the small business, small firms into the places, into the conversations, or are you kind of keep doing the same thing, just trying to expand it instead of trying to increase the access point? So that's just my synopsis there on that. I also wanted to talk about um, oops, some cool things about Netflix. And let me get, hold on one second. So first off, they had a post I saw about them kind of pivoting with games as well. Because yeah, if it's anything game related, I'm on it. I'm looking at it, I'm talking about it. And so let's pull that up. But then there also has some trouble in their. Sorry, one second. They had some trouble with tax, implications and different. I'm pulling up the article. My bad, y'all. Capital culture. All right. Bear with me. Bear with me. If you got some time, put some stuff in the comments. If y'all got questions, I bet. As I'm pulling up the article, come on, man. There we go. All right, share my screen. Oh, first let's talk about the games. So Netflix's strategy. Oh, that's something nice, but it's a little far away. So let me bring. Oh, sucks. I'm gonna figure that out. Told you I'm gonna figure that out. But basically, if you didn't know, Netflix has games on their program, on their site, on their streaming service, and obviously it makes sense, as Netflix being one of the greatest pivoters in business history. I actually want to do a little case study on them, but essentially they realized that the streaming game has gotten crowded, and they need to start switching it up, start doing some new things. And so they started acting game. They started adding games to what they got, on the streaming service. And this is just talking about that the Netflix's VP of Games announced on LinkedIn that he will be moving over to a role of VP of Gen AI for games. Writing that he believes artificial intelligence will accelerate the velocity of development and unlock truly novel game experiences. He also went on to talk about how creator focused and AI, powered. Where do you say that? I'm gonna get his words correctly. I don't want to, miss. Oh yeah, here it is. I'm focused on a creator first vision for AI, one that puts creative talent at the center, with AI being a catalyst and an accelerant. AI will enable big game teams to move much faster, and will also put an almost unimaginable collection of new capabilities in the hands of developers and smaller gaming teams. So again, as we all know, AI you shouldn't be afraid of AI taking your job, but you should be afraid of the person using AI who's potentially going to take your job, right? So you got to be, come with the times and update and move forward. And so I think that, what they're doing, again, they realize that, they're not Sony, they're not, I'm just thinking of some other ones. Xbox, they're not developers, they don't have a huge history of game developing and everything like that. And so they're trying to make sure they're using all of the tools that they can to get them to where they need to be, as soon as possible. I don't even know if this is really helping y'all reading this that far away. So my eyes is terrible, so I can't see. But just throwing that out there, that I think that was cool. But while we're talking about Netflix and as it relates to, accounting and taxes, they're, on Capital Culture, which is a website that is a place to bridge and connect finance, tech, entertainment, all the basically what we do here at Hollywood Accounting. We do a lot of stuff at Capital Culture that talks about a lot of it. And so if that's your niche, if that's what you're interested in, that intersection of finance, accounting, tech, entertainment, then Capital Culture is for you. But here, Netflix offices located in both France and in the Netherlands have been raided for allegations of tax fraud and concealed employment. So this is first reported by Deadline, and French authorities really conducted a raid. Like, they could probably make a movie. Netflix could do a movie of itself, a show of itself, and I'm sure like this would be a cool little scene with people, with the jackets running through, like raiding the office. Like, no, don't touch that. Don't don't you dare destroy that evidence. And excuse me. But essentially, there was a tax audit that was done in 2022, which found a lot of discrepancies in what the declarations were back in the past, and the French authorities basically pulled up and was just like, "Yo, we ain't having it." And now again, just to kind of get to the end, but again, if you want to read the story, go to capitalculturemedia.com. But Netflix joins a list of multinational corporations facing scrutiny in France over these tax optimization schemes, specifically, and it's usually in a way that they're trying to reduce their profits specifically in certain countries, trying to allocate where that money is coming from so they can pay less in certain places. Obviously this is a whole advising tax situation. Let me see. I'm gonna come back on screen. Let me stop sharing. This is a whole thing. Like, these are people's jobs who literally tries to find the best way to optimize taxes. to find the right jurisdictions, how to move revenue into certain places into a lower tax bracket. And like this is literally people's whole jobs, is to make sure that they're doing it, to the letter of the law, and to the most effective way possible. And it looks like Netflix and some other companies are are being found out. Some things aren't being consistent. So it's really, again, it's not necessarily illegal to try to push certain profits into certain places. But it's if that's the way you do it, you have to be consistent with certain things. And it looks like that. Uh, Here's a quote actually. Uh, that revealed that searches were connected to an earlier investigation initiated in November 2022 regarding laundering of aggravated tax fraud and concealed work in an organized gang. So it was a the searches were connected to these other things that happened to bring this up. So it's just interesting. Again, I don't want to go too far into it because I want y'all to read it. And y'all can, go in, and kind of draw your own opinions. If y'all do have opinions, please feel free to comment on it. But I just wanted to bring that up. And I feel like I'm like, kind of, I guess crapping on certain companies, and I just see these things and I want to talk about them, because they're interesting, and it could be happening to anybody. And these are the type of things that accountants have to worry about. So having to figure out if you're doing what you're doing is to the letter of the law in different countries, and trying to optimize tax as much as possible. And you can imagine doing that for you as your client personally, but imagine doing that for a multinational company that has a subscription revenue service that you have to, how do you attribute this revenue if they're in France, but they're watching US made content? I'm sure these are questions that they're probably thinking about and trying to kind of play with, and see how to optimize it. But yeah, it's very interesting to me. So that's why I just like bringing it up. No shade to no companies. But I think I talked enough today, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Again, updates coming from CPA Con. We're less than a month away. Make sure you get your tickets. If you're going to the top 100 accountants, you will see, me and CPA Con there. That we will have a presence, and we will be playing games. So we're going to make that a little bit more engaging at Top 100 Accountants on Thursday. And again, be on the lookout for additional podcasts, additional marketing. You'll see CPA Con all the way around. So make sure you get your ticket. We just missed the early bird, but you can still get your tickets. It is also in person, but it's also virtual. Okay. So even if you feel like I can't make it all the way to LA, it's virtual. Okay. You will be able at least to experience, what CPA Con is and what we're trying to do, and how we're moving forward with it. So please, please, please get you a ticket, and look forward to see everybody there who's coming. So I appreciate y'all. Have a great day, and see you next week.